Do you experience feelings of demotivation and find that you procrastinate quite a bit at times? Not a problem, as I am here today to provide you with a simple routine that might guide you in getting things done while also allowing you to take pleasure in life. Before we start, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and share it with your family and friends. I actually made a list of the primary activities that I need to complete each day, and it includes things like going to the gym, studying, working, and doing chores. I also included one thing that I have neglected ever since, which is time for myself, and called it Watashi no Taimo, or my time. Once I had a general idea of what needed to be done with this method, I made the decision to be flexible. Since I don't seem to be able to adhere to things that are rigid or strict, following fixed time schedules is not something that would work well for me right now. I decided to go with a strategy that is significantly more adaptable and intuitive, and contrary to what I believed. And this is the interesting part. This is helping me get more done than the system I was using before it did. In the past, I would get up and set my alarm for a specific time, but by the time it went off, I would already be in a bad mood because I haven't been maintaining the most regular sleeping schedule. I would compel myself to get out of bed, despite the fact that I would have preferred to stay tucked under the cozy blankets for a little while longer. And after that, I would start working out, despite the fact that I might have preferred to get another one of my responsibilities out of my way first. I would just be following the schedule, which is, in reality, made me less productive than I could have been because I lacked the motivation to do very much of anything. In addition to this, it made me feel quite unhappy, and on the top of that, it would take me an extremely long time to complete a single task. One morning, I failed to set my alarm, and consequently, I awoke much later than usual, which was somewhere around 11 in the morning. At first, I was concerned that I wouldn't be able to get very much done during the day. However, I made the decision to be kind to myself, and I also tried not to stress too much about the situation. I did not get up from my bed until somewhere around lunchtime. Therefore, after lunch, I started studying, and I ended up getting a significant amount of work accomplished. I was truly having a good time with it. The reason for that was I had sort of gotten into the flow of things. I had also made a lot of headway on the videos I was editing. Because of this, the day turned out to be fantastic overall. I was able to accomplish a lot of things thanks to my own personal drive, and I also paid attention to what my body needed. The following morning, I made the conscious decision to delay getting out of bed until a short while after my alarm went off. In fact, not at all, because I remained there from 8 in the morning until 10, simply because I felt like staying. And when I woke up, I asked myself what I wanted to do next. And out of the things that I planned to accomplish that day, the idea of working out was the one that appealed to me the most. So I got to it. And you know what? I got a lot of joy out of workout simply due to the fact that I wasn't making myself do it. Rather, I was choosing to do it in some way. Since then, I have made it a point to pay attention to what my inner voice has to say. I was under the impression that I was naturally lazy, and that if I were not really forced to study or exercise, I would never feel like doing either of those things. But ever since I started being more pliable and kind to myself, and ever since I started allowing myself some time to chill out and unwind, I find that I actually want to get things done, and it does not feel like nearly as much of a struggle. Nowadays, when I first open my eyes, my goal is to win the day, which simply means to seize the day and make the most of the opportunities it presents. Therefore, I nap whenever my body tells me to, and I also stop what I am doing every so often when I am not feeling particularly motivated. I'm discovering that my regular responsibilities hold a lot more allure for me than they used to. On other days, I get up early to study, and then I spend the rest of the morning working out and getting ready for the day. However, on most days, I get the majority of my work done in the morning. And there are some days when all I do is lie in bed and read for a while before getting the majority of my work done in the afternoon. Because of this, I have been able to find a lot more energy and also a lot more enthusiasm to get things done because I choose which activity I want to do the most. Of course, I will still need to invest a significant amount of my willingness, but on the whole, I know that getting things done makes me feel great, which in turn makes it easier for me to get motivated. In addition, because I have my day broken up into more manageable chunks, I am able to rearrange those chunks as necessary and still complete everything on my to-do list. Well, it adds a little bit more excitement to the ordinary things that happen to me without making my routines completely monotonous or uninteresting in any way. Now, whenever I feel like I could use a break, whether it be a few minutes or an entire day, I take it. When I first started doing this, I thought it was a waste of time. But now, I see it as an investment in my productivity because it makes me feel better, which in turn improves my performance at work. I have a tendency to be a to-do list packer, which means that I am constantly making really long to-do lists. So when I make lists, I try to keep them as straightforward as possible and avoid overcomplicating them. Now, I only need to focus on the most important tasks. But in addition to those, I also have smaller habits that I don't write down. Well, it looks like every day is going in a different direction, and I'm accomplishing a lot more than I used to. In addition, I'm a lot better about being gentle and kind to myself. So overall, I have been feeling better. And this is a straightforward approach I'm taking to deal with my anxiety and lack of motivation. Therefore, rather than being extremely critical or stringent with myself, I'm making an effort to become my own friend rather than my own enemy. I know it seems silly, but it's been of great assistance to me, and I thought maybe it could do the same for some of you. So, in case you were wondering, this is the recipe that has been working miracles for me. Anyway, if you have anything to say about this, please share your thoughts in the comment section down below. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. If you want to watch more of these quality contents, check out the video on the lower left corner and playlist on the lower right corner. The information contained in this video is not intended to be a substitute for professional advice. This is solely based on my personal experience.